come out there today and give this a shot. I have mainly been posting today, and my wife and I, who do this work together, mainly post on Facebook. And with all the craziness that's going on over there, we wanted to go deeper into our YouTube channel and get out here a little bit and take our time and go a little bit deeper. So not everything over here will be live. We're going to record more material and place it on YouTube before it goes anywhere else first. So welcome in. Who am I? I am Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina. I am the founder and president of Success Ocean International. Success Ocean International is actually my wife Tanae's company now. We have moved it to a woman and minority owned business so we can offer those incentives to businesses and municipalities who would engage with us in doing corporate training or municipal training, employee training, or any of their training needs or their speaking keynote needs, any of those types of things. That's what we do. We actually got started by offering and facilitating, and we still do. It's our core business. We facilitate radical personal transformation and quantum leap goal achievement in the individual. And we expanded this from the individual to small business, then corporations. And we do it through a premier program that we have, a 6-month program that really goes into the workings of our mind, taking matters into our own mind and learning the laws of mind action, learning the laws of infinite potential and cooperating with them to make manifest in our world the results that we would love to see show up. See, most of us operate on autopilot. I call that being an unconscious competent. We get through our day each and every day, and we get to the end of the day and we sit back and we go, what happened? We're not intentionally and deliberately creating a life, not the life we would love to live anyway. We play by the rules most of the time. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we make real inefficient choices, but we go through the motions and we get by. That's what I'm talking about, being a competently unconscious. Unconscious means is we are just taking all this input that is bombarded into our conscious mind every day through our 5 senses, and we filter out some, most of it we don't, and it makes an impression on our subconscious mind. And from this input, and from the input from our ancestors through DNA and genetics, through the input of everything that was poured in there when we were younger, we form what are called paradigms. Paradigms are a multitude of habits that have almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And guess what? Almost all of our behavior is habitual. So these paradigms are really our programming. It's our autopilot system that keeps us on that cruise control, and we just kind of cruise through life. And guess what? Weeks go by, and then months go by, and then another year goes by, and another year goes by, and we tend to stay in the same place that we've always been because the paradigm keeps us there. Now, maybe we're in a profession like sales or in a tough demanding job in the corporate world, and we get called in the office and sales got to go up and you got to do better and you got to improve, or maybe we're tough on ourselves that way. Most of us are, look at our life and say, oh, something's got to be different. It's January again, it's the beginning of the year, and I want something better for my life. I want to experience the life I'd love to live. I want to move into my dream life now. And maybe we'll have that incremental growth. But what always happens is the paradigm makes sure we always come back down to where we've always been. And there's only a few ways to change those paradigms. And that's what we do. That's the work that Tanae and I do within our company, Success Ocean International. And again, we do this for small businesses, individuals, corporations, and we have a variety of ways that we can work with you. And we do that, we begin all that by having a conversation with those people that want more personally and professionally. So we love doing this work. We invite you to reach out and say, hey, I'd love to talk to you more about this, because it's all about working with the law. And I'm not talking about law as in the rules that govern our society. I'm talking about the laws of mind action, the laws, the cosmic laws, the universal laws that just are. You know, you hear a lot about the law of attraction, mainly because it was made popular by the movie The Secret back in, what was that, about 2007 or 2005, maybe earlier. I'm not really sure. But it's not a new law. It was just made popular, right? But what people don't realize is the law of attraction is a secondary law. It's not a primary law. See, we live in a cause and effect universe. And to understand how to attract what we want to attract in our lives, we have to understand the laws that precede the law of attraction, the laws that are what we call causal laws. And there's many of them. There's 7 primary causal laws, but there's also other laws, which we call subsidiaries of those, that move us when we work in harmony with them, when we're aware of them, when that move us into that place where we are in the flow. We call that in the flow, or being, attracting everything we want. And it's really has to do with frequency at the quantum level. And we experience this all the time, because the law is no respecter of persons. Whether we understand it, whether we know about it, it's operating all the time. It's just like the law of gravity. Think about it that way. Think about the law of gravity. Just if you're ignorant of it, if you didn't know what gravity was, or you didn't pay attention to it, or if you're one of these people that say, I don't believe in all that gravity stuff. Well, if you walk off the tall building, whether you believe in it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you understand it or not, you're going to walk off that building and you're going to fall down. It's the law of gravity. Always at work. No respecter of persons is what we say about that. And so are the laws of manifestation, the laws of infinite potential. They're always at work. And I found it interesting. One of the laws that we talk about, one of the books that I work with, is called Working with the Law by Raymond Hollowell. Great book. And one of the laws in here that Mr. Hollowell talks about, and sometimes people step back when they hear this, there's a law of obedience. And we hear obedience, and most of us don't like obedience. I had a problem with obedience when I was a little kid. And I think maybe many of us still carry that to a certain extent. Who are we being obedient to? But this talks about being obedient to the law. And what I just shared with you, as it's no respecter of persons. So when we look in our lives at what's showing up, and we don't like what's showing up, we go to the problem, and we're in the energy of the problem, and we start looking for solutions. And I love that quote by Einstein. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll paraphrase that. And he says, we'll never find the solution if we remain in the same energy that created the problem in the first place. We must move to the energy of the solution, because it's there. Everything already exists somewhere, right? Maybe in the ethers, in that place of non-form, but it's there. And if we stay in the energy of what we don't want, we're going to attract more of the same into our lives. So the law of obedience, and in this case, what we're talking about right here, the law of obedience, is obedience to the law, understanding it, working in harmony with it, knowing that there are laws. What are they? Studying them. And then once we do and we work in harmony, then we're moving to that flow, that just flow of life, where things just seem to come our way. We look at individuals all the time to say, wow, it just seems to come so easy for them. But they're in the flow. They're understanding this process. They're working with the laws and being obedient to them. It's just like our regular laws, and we have laws that govern society. And if we break the laws, we're going to experience the effect, cause and effect, things that we don't want to experience. We run the red light in front of a policeman, we're going to probably get a ticket, right? Or at least a warning if we're lucky, but we're going to probably get a ticket. The effect, cause, we decided to be disobedient to the law. and we experience the effect, getting the ticket that we don't want that's attached to a fine, cause and effect. We attracted that because of our mental thought process that said, I think I can run that red light and get away with it, right? Well, the laws of the universe are the same way. There's cause and effect. There are consequences, positive ones and negative ones. So when we cooperate with them in the right way, understanding them, working in harmony with them, we can deliberately and intentionally move into our field of experience exactly what we want to experience. And this can work in every area of our lives, whether it's making manifest, maybe a pile of cash is what you want, maybe it's a relationship with that special someone, whatever that may be, whether it's marriage or just an intimate, close, loving relationship with someone else. Perhaps it's in your vocation or in your career. Perhaps when it comes to physical fitness or weight release, dropping that excess weight. All these things, it all starts with obedience to the law, which means working in harmony with the laws that exist. There are seven of them that precede the law of attraction. The greatest law, causal law, is understanding that energy is. We live in an ocean of motion, this field of energy. We can call it God, we can call it cosmic energy, we can call it life energy, the divine spirit, but it's always flowing to and through us. And we have to understand this. And it's got our greater good in mind. And it wants to support us on this path of manifestation. But then there's the law of perpetual transmutation, always changing, the law of cause and effect, vibration, polarity, rhythm, circulation, and the law of gender. But this law of obedience is one that's really jumping out at me today. I didn't come on here, turn on the camera with anything pre-planned to talk about. But the law of obedience is just understanding that there are laws out there and life can be glorious and we can move into our big dream goal, our big dream intention, our desires that we really want for our lives and what we want our life to look with when we're obedient to the law, the laws of the universe. You want to know more about those? You want to talk about where you are in life and what you would love to experience? I invite you to reach out. You can reach me at Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. That's Stephen at successocean.com. And I'll send you my calendar. We can hop on a call and we can just, I'm not talking about a sales call. I'm talking about a call that actually helps you because that's what I do. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a metaphysical doctor. I'm ordained in this material, this body we call New Thought, this body of knowledge we call New Thought. First started studying it in 1980 and applied it in my life. First of all, I had the knowledge, but put it back on the shelf. We call that shelf help, by the way. Not self-help, shelf help. We read something, we put it on the shelf. But when we take it back off the shelf and we read it to understand it, and then embody the material, then we start making changes in our lives. So everything I talk about and I teach and I share and I train around is because I have modeled and demonstrated it in my own life. And so I came to a point in my life that something really, really had to change. So I embraced all this material again after making years of inefficient choices. And that's where my life started to change. So I'd love to share that with you. And getting back to the call, these aren't sales calls. What we'll do is we'll work together because I'm dedicated to doing this and I'm dedicated to helping others and I'm committed to it. On these calls, what we always do is we'll identify what you really want. And I'm not talking about what's on the to-do list or getting from point A to point B. That's for, you go to a life coach for something like that. That's not the work that I do. So we'll identify what is the biggest dream for your life. What is that dream that you perhaps put back up on the shelf because you started believing it wasn't possible for you? We'll identify what it is you want in your life, in any area of your life. Number two, we'll identify what's been keeping you stuck. How come you want more, but you keep experience the same thing and remain on that hamster wheel? So we'll do that. And number three, we'll identify a specific plan for you to take with you, move out of that phone call, things that you can do right away to take that step that'll move you from where you are a little bit closer to that life you'd love to live. So reach out to me, Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Just drop me a line. I'll send you my calendar and we'll schedule some time to talk. In the meantime, I guess I'm welcoming myself to reopening this YouTube channel and doing some work here. So I hope this is getting out there okay. I hope I'm not muted. And I thank you so much for looking in. God bless you. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a great, infinitely